Have you told them, Lady Grantham?
She's told us nothing.
Do sit down. I've come into possession of a villa in the south of France.
What villa?
Start at the beginning.
Years ago, before you were born, I met a man.
They spend a few days together and he gives her a house.
You never thought to turn it down?
Do I look as if I'd turned down a villa in the south of France?
It is a very familiar team that we have, a family, if you like, over these 12 years, and most of it is, frankly, a pinch-me moment, you know, when we were in the south of France. You know, I can't believe here we are 12 years later, you know, in this beautiful villa.
Not all the cast got to head to the south of France. Some, like Lady Mary, played by Michelle Dockery, had to stay behind.
It didn't feel too bad because we'd finished filming and then you guys went off to France. I think had it have been in the middle...
That would have been hard.
or simultaneously, and then we were getting loads of messages from these guys, you know, on the beach or, you know, in this beautiful place. Maybe it would have been harder, you know.
At what point did you find out that a large chunk of the cast was going to get to go to the south of France and you weren't?
When did we find out? Because that was like trying to work out who would go. I kind of knew absolutely no chance.
Oh, I knew as well. I just knew it was the valets and the ladies' maids and the ones who go. So straight off the bat, I was like, South France, that's not me. But on the plus side, 2.5 weeks off filming.
Yeah, we got a little break. So we were a bit jealous.
They better be warned. The British are coming.
Welcome to the Villa of the Doves. It's a beautiful place.
How happy you must be.
Oh, my goodness.
Who is she?
The Lady Grantham I first went to work for.
Granny.
Why did you invite us here?
You had big ambitions from the start, of course, south of France, filming there. Was there a time when that looked like it might not happen?
Very much so. In fact, the studio, understandably, made us prepare an alternative in the UK for all the French Riviera scenes, which, believe me, was heartbreaking because...
It was devastating.
Yeah, and, you know, we were looking at sort of a pond in a park in West London trying to see, could this be the swimming pool in the Riviera? We were all overjoyed when we got the green light to go, and we loved being in France.
I loved seeing France in the film. I kind of wanted to be there longer as an audience.
Yes.
It's stunning, and it's so beautiful. You know, it's such a great part of the story that the characters are kind of taken away somewhere else and you see them outside of Downton.
And on a more serious note, we were filming at a time when we were just, in Britain anyway, emerging from lockdown. I think there were, what was it 12,000, 17,000 COVID tests were done over the course of the thing and not one positive, so...
Just on cast and crew?
Just on cast and crew.
Nice work, team.
So we'd managed to keep our crew of 120, 150, you know, in a sensible zone. And we were so fortunate to be working, you know, at a time when millions across the world were not able to. But also, I think we felt a great sense of pride and delight that we were working on something that would, in time, provide a great escape and joyous entertainment for our loyal audience.
Are you amazed at all the storylines that Julian Fellowes has in his head?
Yes.
I mean, I'm trying to keep you all in my head to do the interviews today. He's writing for you all.
I know.
It's incredible.
We were saying it earlier, we were just saying he's got this skill for keeping everyone going, and that's why people love it, because everyone has a different favourite character, I think, that they want to follow their story, and he doesn't drop anyone. And even in the film, he's managed to do that, so I think, yeah, it's amazing.
The vibe I'm getting from spending time with you all today is you're really a massively large family.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
It really is.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that solidified very early on with the success that it enjoyed around the world, mainly because it's such a unique thing. We will probably all experience within our careers that for something to be taken to people's hearts in such a big way and all the success that it enjoyed, we all got to share that as a family, and I think that really brought us together. And then when we have brilliant other actors come join us and they're as lovely as everyone who's involved, they just make the family bigger.
Hugh joining the family, what's it like?
It was the first day I was a little trepidatious, let's say. When the first day that we were all together, it was both sides of the show, right? So upstairs and downstairs. And it was seeing them all see each other after 3 years, was it? I don't know. And quite literally somebody pulled up a chair for me and said, come and sit down. It was lovely.
It's lovely having new people on the show because we've been doing it for such a long time, and also it kind of shakes it up, you know, it's a different energy when new actors come in, and particularly with this story, because it sort of turns everything upside down, and you know, everybody's sort of out of their comfort zone. So it was lovely.
It seems the public only want films that talk.
I should have thought the best thing about films is that you can't hear them. It'd be even better if you couldn't see them either.
When I was a young girl and starting out, I used to go to the National Theatre and see Maggie Smith, and I saw her in a number of plays. And I thought, oh, one day I'd like to be like her. So it was a great thrill to meet this person who I'd seen in the theatre.
You steer ahead. You're the captain now.
Do you love where Mary's at now, and do you see bits of Violet in her?
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, there's so much of her grandmother in her, and they have such a great relationship. It's one of my favourite relationships to play, you know, is those scenes with Maggie. She's a great character, and I love where she's at now. You know, she feels more settled, happy, and a grown-up. You know, I look back at those early seasons and she's, you know, she's like a spoiled, arrogant child. And, you know, she's become someone else. It's great.
He wants to make a film at Downton.
Telephone call for you, my lord. Mr. Barber is a producer and director.
He wants to make a film at Downton.
A moving picture at Downton.
But the big film stars, famous ones.
I think it's a horrible idea. Actresses plastered in makeup and actors just plastered.
There is something about him, like a wild animal ready to spring.
Ready to spring on you mean?
Anna's in her element. She's really excited about the film crew arriving at Downton, and she's a big film fan.
Roll the camera. And action.
Downton Abbey, A New Era, not only sees some of the cast head to the south of France, but we see Hollywood come to Downton. A movie is being filmed at the Crawley family estate, and the downstairs characters feature as extras in this film within a film.
You both play film stars because, of course, there's a film within a film being made at Downton. So what was that like?
It felt very familiar to me, yes.
Yes, it's the way you roll.
I mean, it's just, yes, it wasn't this. I thought, who else could play this role but me? Such a brilliant hook for Julian to come up with. Well, it was good publicity.
Is there such a thing as good publicity?
There is if you're in the movies. But that time was so interesting in Hollywood. I didn't realise there were so many Brits who went over there and were called the Hollywood Raj, and what that must have felt like was very interesting exploring.
Without giving too much away, we do get to see all of the downstairs servants get dressed up, and that was amazing. Was that fun?
It was fun watching you all see each other.
Yeah.
That was lovely.
Everyone looked so different.
I mean,
that was really
They
fun.
told me that's what it was at the time. I was like, I'm not convinced. My hair was, it was an event in itself.
It was an event.
Yeah.
Fascinating days, weren't they, doing those,
they were fun
scenes? Sort of seeing the footage and watching.
It's a sort of recreation of a recreation of it. So there was a lot of sort of fun about what we were wearing and stuff. So yeah, and I've been saying for years, you know, I wanted Anna to raid Lady Mary's wardrobe. She didn't quite get to do that.
You must come here a lot.
We do, or rather we did, before you entered our lives.
Elizabeth, what's it like to once again put Cora's clothes on, become Cora again?
It feels very easy and natural. It's something that comes only with time, that there's, I think, I probably speak for all of us, that it's so in our bones and in our DNA now that to slip back into the characters is absolutely no work about it. Because we spent so many years doing it, the kind of bonds that we've made with one another, you do feel, as the audience, there's something that you can't really fake about that.
I thought you were easily satisfied, but I see now you're not. So we can fight our way to a better world together.
Your character's now married and living at the farm, and Daisy's just grown up so much before our eyes, and she's really bolshy now. She's telling everyone what's what, even if they're famous Hollywood actresses. I love this.
I know. I think I've been so lucky to have a job where I get to start off basically as a kid and grow up on screen. We were saying, is she settled finally? Can't be sure.
No.
Keeps him on his toes.
Keeps him on his toes.
I've been thinking about an article on the people who visit the south of France in the summer now.
I'm glad to hear you're doing something with your brain again.
Well, let's hope it's still there.
Laura, I love that Edith is grappling with being a working mum, essentially. And she's a journalist and a working mum like me. And that's, you know, very topical.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying she must have very good childcare. Full-time nanny. We don't meet Peter the baby, but we assume he's fine.
Not in the car with the window rolled down and a glass of water.
Yeah, exactly.
No, he's being looked after.
It's great. Yeah, it's a juggle.
Let him go, and who's going to make me? I am. Run at me, Jimmy! Run!
Thomas's journey too. I mean, from baddie to where he is now, that's been extraordinary.
It has, yes. And we'll leave it there.
Well, there was no harm done.
He's had lots of challenges, again, so because of his sexuality. So that's fascinating for me to play, see the turmoil, and fascinating that Julian showed that, because it's really given my character, more than any of the others, somewhere to go. And that's why it's universally agreed that he's the best character in the show, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
See?
He's worn us down.
We want an easy day.
Michelle and Michael have been recording some music together, and Elizabeth, you've got Sadie and the Hotheads, your band. I'm thinking, what's going on? We got Jim, Penelope and Hugh. Anything we should know about? A little musical collab?
Yeah, absolutely.
You could do a barber shop.
Excuse me, I'm just done a musical film and sung for the first time in my life, recorded in Abbey Road Studio.
Really?
Very nice. What's the film?
My wife, Imelda, who's a good singer, she said, "You're not singing." And I sang, and I came back, and I paid it to her. She nearly fell on the floor. Yeah, I've sort of got a rock and roll career at my age.
Considering the Daily Express has you down to in the running to be the next James Bond today.
Really?
I didn't know that.
How are you feeling about that?
Really? This is exciting.
It's not exciting because it's obviously
I'd love a Northern Bond.
I mean, they do need to mix it. They open up the regionalities is what I would say.
I have to say,
get out of order, Goldfinger. I was about to say I've got an upcoming cameo on Neighbours, but it's been chopped.
You better rush.
I know, that's what I mean. I'm fuming. We grew up with that, and
Yes.
there needs to be a worldwide petition to get Neighbours back
must
on.
be.
There is, surely.
Well,
what's Paul Robinson going to do?
What is Paul?
He's on for the next
AKA Jared Rebecca. I worry about them.
If you rush, you could come and be in it. That could be your excuse to be in Australia.
That would be fun.
Can you have a word and sort of make
I
this?
know people.
Would you have to do an Aussie accent, do you?
I'll fly economy, honestly. Works a bit patchy at the minute. I'll fly economy.
We need another one. So I've got this theory to float for you.
What's the storyline?
It's Downton Down Under.
Oh, yes.
Half the film would be the journey.
I was going to say.
Exactly.
wouldn't it?
Yeah, more than half the film.
You could do part of the movie on the boat over.
Not much. Get to town. Come on.
Sorry, get to
Now, I would
right.
be very upset if Anna does not go.
Downton Down Under.
I'm on for that.
Now, let me work this out.
All
So
right.
We're looking at the timeline. 1932-93 was the Ashes tour to Australia with Bodyline.
Right.
For some reason, you come to Australia for the Ashes tour. I don't know why.
I can think of a reason. May I?
Yes.
Oh, God.
So his lordship, knowing that it's a new and it's an evolving world and it needs to change with the times, sponsors the Ashes cricket, and as sponsors we all go across to watch one of the Ashes cricket.
But the English players are very distressed when he is struck on the head.
As a journalist, Edith would be wanting to explore.
People visiting there during the summer.
Well, we're in. Pitch it to Julian Fellows. We'll arrange that.
I will. Who's been to Australia? I know.
What we can play, we'll have to make the sandwiches.
And we create the first ever Barmy Army with you, Molesley.
Yeah.
Molesley's crazy on the terraces. So that's perfect.
That's
Yeah, there you go.
Done.
You're welcome.
With that, I will say good night and leave you to discuss my mysterious past.